So I used to come to the forest or go walking in general, and I used to, hold on, look at that. Yeah, I used to come and I used to see how quick I could walk it. I had a thing about how fast was my pace, how quick could I get round. I mean, I know from a cardio point of view, it's really good to do that. It's really good to get your heartbeat racing and kind of exercise and elevate, etc. But from a mental point of view, it's not actually that natural, is it? I mean, you look at where I am. It's just gorgeous. Why do I want to rush? Why do I want to get round as quick as possible? I haven't got any time constraints. I come out early enough that even walking slowly, I have the time. So why would I rush it? So I'm kind of like really enjoying slowing down. I'm really enjoying taking in what's around me and stop rushing to get on to the next thing, and also thinking about the next thing while I'm doing something else. So kind of embracing being in the moment. It's really nice just to be here and not think about all the things I've got to do when I'm at home. And it's a really good way of doing that is it's very similar to the methods that people use to help with anxiety, is to use your senses, and you just kind of look around. What 5 things can you see? Well, right now I can see, I'll turn you this way, I can see the trees, I can see the mist, I can see Xena snuffling along, I can see the clouds, I can see the patterns that they're making, I see Tally chasing her shadow but having an absolutely whale of a time. And then kind of break that backwards. What can you smell? And for me, actually, the smell is a really big sense, and smell as in for natural smells. I really struggle with synthetic and artificial smells. I was out last night at the theatre, and the people in front of me had like really, really strong like laundry smells on their clothing, like as in like pleasant smells, but also like really strong aftershave and perfume. And it just overloads my senses massively. I really struggled with it. Yet out here in the forest, I can smell like different things as you walk in. So you can smell the earth. There's like a real kind of, like, where it's quite muddy and wet, kind of real sort of grounding, earthy smell. You can smell, you see here, there's gorse, and gorse smells like coconut. Well, it does to me. I'm not sure if it smells like that to everyone, but I genuinely love those little yellow blooms. Always kind of pick a couple, and then if you squish them together, you got the smell of coconut. When I came into the forest in the pitch black, they've done some forest work since the last time I was here, and they've chopped down lots of trees, which means they've chopped lots of branches, and all you could smell was the pine. So that was like a really strong smell. Lovely. I mean, it literally smelled of Christmas. And I just had Satsuma, so I brought my own smell into the forest, and it's kind of on my fingers, and I can still smell that kind of orangey smell, that orangey tingle. Just gonna look at that. Sky's just now all kind of tones of pink, and yeah, it's just spectacular. So yes, you got sight, you got smell, you got touch. So as you're walking along, like what can you touch? What textures are there? Some things are soft, some things are kind of more prickly, and kind of not just touch with your hands. Like as I'm walking, your feet are touching the ground. So like I'm touching rocks underfoot. I wear barefoot shoes, so I wear Vivo barefoot walking boots, and they're brilliant because I can actually feel things under my feet. So I can feel the different textures of the paths that I'm on, which also makes you a little bit more stable, like less likely to trip because you're actually feeling what's beneath you. So yeah, at the moment I'm on a stone path, but I've walked through like forest paths, and then that's like all soft underfoot where all the pine needles and the leaves have all like fallen. I've just walked through a really muddy, boggy bit, and that's kind of quite squelchy and squishy. So yeah, I mean that counts as touch. Touch isn't just your hands. Actually, I feel a lot of touch on my face as I'm walking. So especially in places like this, the temperature dips and like rises and falls. So you got that kind of touch on your face of like the mist and the wind. So yeah, touch is lots of different things. It's not just kind of using your hands. You've obviously got sound. What can you hear? Normally I like it when I can't hear anything human. As the morning goes on, I tend to hear more. There's roads that kind of come down both sides of the bit of forest that I walk in, and sound really travels here, so you do tend to hear the cars. But then I've also heard deer as they're calling out, and I've heard birds of prey. So especially when it's kind of still dark, you can hear that. I can hear my feet as I'm walking. I can hear the crunch underfoot. Having a Frenchie, I hear lots of snuffling. She's always kind of like got her nose down, and she's snuffling along. So, and then the final one is taste, and that's a little bit harder to do. But you kind of like your tongue is still kind of like sensing things as you walk. There's kind of like a taste in the air. You can almost kind of feel it within your mouth. Obviously you've kind of got the things that you bring. So I've just had a satsuma, so therefore I've got the taste of orange. I'm just about to have my morning cup of coffee, and that taste will be even better out here because all of my senses are heightened, and that's why food and drink always taste better when you're outside. I am the biggest believer of food and drink when you're out, of taking a mundane, or what could be mundane, I never find it that way, but kind of a mundane everyday task of walking and turning it into like a mini adventure. And for me, food turns a walk into an adventure. A picnic turns any activity into an adventure. So yeah, I would say when you're out, slow down and use your senses and kind of ground yourself, like really feel your feet and your energy like connecting to the earth. So as you're walking, you're feeling where you're putting your feet, and you're connecting with it, and you're being present. So yeah, just even if you get the chance just for 5 minutes to go out into your garden or something, and just to kind of stand there or move around and try and use all your senses in that outdoor space. We've all got kind of parks and things around us, and there is nothing better than getting out into nature and embracing that energy and letting all of your negative, your bad, feel it and release it, and then ground, connect, and take on some higher vibrations, and then take that forward into your day. And I know whatever else I do today now, after being down here in the forest, I can face it. I can feel like I can face the world. You wouldn't go very far without charging your phone, would you? Your phone would die, it wouldn't work. And that's kind of how I feel about sort of outdoor time, about time in nature. I've got to admit, forests and mountains and kind of that sort of thing appeal to me more now than what the beach does. And I think that's just because it's really super busy where I am, and I can't kind of cope with all the people. I mean, a rugged wild beach like Porthallow down in Cornwall, yeah, I mean that gets my heart every time. But I definitely have a thing for the forest and the fells and the mountains, and yeah, it fills my soul. So go out there and fill yours.